What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and this is a second look at Gran Turismo. This is still on Netflix, and it now has audio description from Motion Picture Solutions. So Sony was just dragging their feet. I saw it was added a little while ago, and I didn't immediately jump to it. I needed a little bit more time in between. Um, I've also done this recently for the Royal Hotel, which didn't originally have audio description on Hulu, and I'm re-reviewing it. I'm re-reviewing films that I was like, I think I would like this film if it had audio description, to be fair, and be able to grade these films. I'm actually a fan of director Neil Blomkamp. So when I was watching this film, I was like, I think this is up my alley. And it's just so hard to watch a racing movie without audio description. But luckily, I was right. Um, I don't know that this voice fits the film at all. The narrator choice is just really odd and just kind of stands out. I don't know. It just didn't feel. I feel like we could have chosen a different narrator. I would have chosen a different narrator. This is not somebody who I would have picked for this project, but it's well written. I was always like, what's up with the what is this? Doesn't match. It's two things. It's like oil and water that just don't feel like they go together. But this is Archie Madekwe, who also last year starred in Saltburn. Definitely a breakthrough star of 2023, along with Jaimin Hansu, Orlando Bloom, David Harbour. We've got a pretty decent cast here. And I liked the film the first time around from what I could understand, but again, it was a racing film, so he spent a lot of time in cars, and I couldn't understand. There were like car accidents, and I was like, what is this? And finally having context to everything was just like, oh my God, thank you. I finally, like, I saw what was happening. I could hear, I got the references. I love that he flips on this, Kenny G. And then there's stuff at the end I didn't even know was at the end. There's text that explains the whole thing to you, to where, it tells you a little bit more about the real guy and how the real guy was actually worked on this as a stunt double for himself, for Archie Madekwe. So yeah, this is a thing that really happened. They actually took a driver, somebody who just played the game really well on PlayStation, and put them through this school. And then Jan has gone on to race 200 games, apparently, 200 races. So it's a pretty typical sports biopic. It just has like a really interesting sort of like origin story, because normally sports biopics are somebody's working at the sport, and somebody comes along and notices their raw talent, and they come from, I don't know, some place that you wouldn't normally expect them to be, and somebody has to help them get to where they need to go. That's the typical mold. Well, in this case, he's not driving cars, he's racing them online, and this random contest helps him, and he goes on to this academy where he has to fight. He's constantly like below the line, and I love that it always says, we get in the audio description, he's always like just below the line, just below the line, and he's told that if he's not above the line, then he's going to be cut. And meanwhile, there are people who are like lower than him that are getting cut along the way. And David Harbour's there basically because he thinks none of these gamers should be afforded the opportunity, but he's been hired to do this because part of the stipulation was that somebody who actually knows how to drive a car has to lead the academy. So it's got good performances. I think Archie Madekwe does a great job as Jan. Again, strong year for him. He was excellent in Saltburn as well. So I'm really excited to see more from him as an actor. I thought Jaimin Hansu, who we just never seem to really know what to do with him as an actor. He just kind of pops up in things. Like, we need a black guy with an African accent. Jaimin Hansu. uh, what project is it? I don't know. Shitty. Djimon Hounsou. It's like the man has an Oscar nomination. Can we, can we maybe just? He should have multiple. By the way, he should have like Amistad. Certainly, he should have more than In America. Blood Diamond. I mean, like there are other films where it's like he's been excellent quite a few times, just really excelling at his game. But he seems to pop up in some really just like random roles where you're like, why is this Djimon Hounsou? Like, why is it? Like, why is he in this? Luckily, he gets some moments here as the father where he gets to emote, and he's not just like here, you know. Anyway, and David Harbour's basically doing David Harbour. I'm not gonna lie, it's not much of a stretch. And Orlando Bloom is kind of just this is what his career has become. He at one time was supposed to be storming Hollywood, and now he's just taking roles in things like Gran Turismo. And then I recently reviewed his Red Right Hand, which is on Hulu. It doesn't even have audio description. Couldn't even be bothered. It's just a film. His career is, I don't know. He's got like a reality show on Peacock. It's just, where did Orlando Bloom's career go? At one point, he was the future of film, and now he's definitely not the future of anything. So I like him as an actor, but yeah, career choices. So yes, I did like this movie. I liked it a lot more than I initially thought I would, and I can actually put an official grade on it. I like it, so I can put a ring on it. It's no longer a single lady. It is now. It's moving up from unwatchable, and we're going to kill that grade. It's dead. I think Neil Blomkamp's direction here is strong. He's a strong director with exceptional vision in filmmaking. I think he definitely is somebody that I look forward to when I hear that he's attached to a film, because I know that it's going to be interesting. He doesn't just make boring films. And Gran Turismo could have been boring. I think a lot of people wanted it to be Need for Speed, but it's not Need for Speed. It's a true story, and it's an interesting way to make a Gran Turismo movie. I like it. I'm going to give Gran Turismo a B+. So, there you go. It's a regrade. I have rewatched and regraded the film now that it has audio description. The audio description is well written. I just don't like the narrator's voice. It's mixed okay. It's just, I don't know. It was just like, it's a voice that just doesn't fit the genre. It's like hearing somebody who sounds like they're made for a kid's movie on a horror movie. She just doesn't sound like she's made for a racing movie, like an action drama racing movie. So, could a female voice have been on this film? Sure, but she just doesn't seem invested in the film. It's a very sort of like flat, narrow voice that doesn't really get into the film. And I need somebody who gets into the film. So it's not like a gender thing. It's just, this is, I don't know, Nomadland. She'd be great. Just like a flat film that, it's just a drama that doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, it's a film that has some intense action sequences in it, and you wouldn't know it from listening to her, because she doesn't sound invested at all in the film, like nothing at all. And I like people who match the tonality of the film and understand what it is that they're describing. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.